Long ago, in a distant land, there lived a powerful king who ruled over a great kingdom. The king was proud and cruel. He wanted the people to fear him. And more than that, he wanted them to worship him. To keep control over the people, the king relied on a magician. The magician used tricks and illusions to amaze the crowds and convince them that the king had special powers. Whenever the people gathered, the magician would perform strange acts that left everyone shocked and impressed. The king believed this helped him keep his authority over the kingdom. But as the years passed, the magician became very old. His hands trembled. His strength faded, and he knew his time was coming to an end. One day, he went to the king and said, "My king, I have grown old and weak. Soon, I will not be able to continue my work. Send me a clever young boy so I can teach him everything I know before I die." The king agreed. He ordered his servants to search the kingdom for a bright and intelligent boy. After some time, they found a young boy who seemed perfect. He was smart, curious, and quick to learn. Every day, the boy began traveling from his home to the magician's house. But something unexpected happened. On the road stood a small place of worship. Inside lived a monk, a man who devoted his life to worshiping Allah. One day, the boy stopped and listened. The monk spoke about truth, about faith, about believing in Allah alone. The words touched the boy's heart. From that day on, he would stop and sit with the monk before going to the magician. But this caused a problem. The boy began arriving late. The magician became angry. He punished him. And at home, his family also scolded him. The boy felt trapped between two worlds, one full of fear and lies, and one full of peace and truth. And soon, Allah would show him a sign that would change his life forever. One day, the boy saw a large crowd gathered on the road. People stood far away, whispering, afraid. No one dared to move forward. A huge beast was blocking the path, terrifying, powerful, unstoppable. The boy stood quietly, watching, thinking. Then he said to himself, "Today, I will know the truth." He bent down and picked up a small stone. He raised his eyes to the sky. "O Allah, if the way of the monk is the truth, if it is more beloved to you, then let this stone stop the beast." He threw the stone. The air became still. The crowd held their breath. The stone struck, and in a single moment, the beast collapsed, dead. Silence filled the road. Then, gasps, shock, relief. The path was clear. The people passed safely, but the boy did not move. His heart was shaking. He knew Allah had answered him. When he returned to the monk and told him everything, the monk looked at him deeply and said, "My son, today you are greater than me, but listen carefully. You will be tested. Your faith will be tested, and the trials will be heavy." From that day on, everything began to change. The sick came to the boy, the blind, the weak, the broken. The boy raised his hands and prayed, and Allah healed them, one after another. And the boy would always say, "I do not heal anyone. Only Allah heals." Slowly, quietly, the truth began to spread across the kingdom. Hearts were changing. People were believing. But far away, in his palace, someone heard this news. Among the king's closest advisors was a man who had lost his sight. Once powerful, once respected, now living in darkness. When he heard about the boy, hope returned to his heart. He gathered valuable gifts and went to find him. When he stood before the boy, he said, "If you cure me, all of this will be yours." The boy looked at him calmly and said, "I do not cure anyone. Only Allah heals. If you believe in Allah, I will pray for you." The man hesitated. Then slowly, he said, "I believe." The boy raised his hands and prayed. And in that moment, Allah restored his sight. The man could see again. Light returned to his world. Overjoyed, he rushed back to the palace. But when the king saw him, walking, seeing, he was shocked. "Who restored your sight?" the king demanded. The man replied, "My lord restored my sight." The king's face darkened. "Do you have a lord other than me?" The man stood firm. "My lord, and your lord, is Allah." The king exploded with rage. He ordered him to be tortured until he revealed the truth. Through pain, he mentioned the boy. The boy was brought before the king. The king stared at him. "Cold, dangerous. I hear you perform miracles." The boy replied calmly, "I do not heal anyone. Only Allah heals." "Who taught you this?" "My Lord is Allah." The king's anger burned even stronger. He ordered the boy to be tortured until he mentioned the monk. The monk was brought. "Abandon your religion," the king said. The monk refused. Without fear, without hesitation, the king ordered his execution. Then the advisor. He also refused and was killed. The boy watched everything: pain, loss, truth, but his heart did not shake. The king looked at him and said, "You will be next." But the king did not understand. This boy was no longer afraid. The king gave a new order: "Take him to the mountain. Throw him down." The soldiers obeyed. They climbed higher and higher. The wind grew stronger. The ground became dangerous. At the top, they surrounded the boy. "Abandon your faith," they demanded. The boy stood calm. He raised his hands. "O Allah, protect me from them, in whatever way you wish." Suddenly, the mountain began to shake. The ground trembled. The soldiers lost their balance. One by one, they fell, but the boy remained standing, safe, protected. He walked back down, alone. When the king saw him again, alive, his anger turned into shock. Again, he failed. "Take him to the sea," the king shouted. "Throw him into the water." The soldiers took him far into the ocean. The waves grew strong. The sky turned heavy. "Abandon your belief," they demanded. But the boy raised his hands again. "O Allah, protect me." A powerful wave crashed into the boat. Chaos, fear. The soldiers fell into the sea. But the boy was saved. Once again, he returned to the king, alive, untouched. And then he said, "You will never be able to kill me unless you do what I tell you." For the first time, the king listened. With fear in his heart, "Gather all the people," the boy said. "Let them all come. Let them all witness." The king obeyed. People came from everywhere. The entire kingdom stood watching. Then the boy said, "Tie me to a tree." The soldiers tied him tightly. The air was heavy, silent. Then he said, "Take an arrow, place it in the bow, and say these words." The king leaned forward. "What words?" The boy said, "Say, in the name of Allah, the Lord of the boy." The king hesitated, but he wanted this to end. He raised the bow and said loudly, "In the name of Allah, the Lord of the boy." He released the arrow. It flew through the air and struck the boy. The boy placed his hand on his wound. Then, slowly, he fell. Silence. Deep silence. Then, a voice, "We believe in the Lord of the boy." Another voice. Then another. Then all together. "We believe in the Lord of the boy. We believe in the Lord of the boy." The king stood frozen. He had just revealed the truth with his own words. And in that moment, an entire kingdom believed in Allah. The king was afraid. His power was gone. The people no longer feared him. They believed in Allah. He ordered punishments. Fires were lit. Believers were tested. But something incredible happened. They did not turn back. Even in the face of fire, their faith remained strong. Among them, a mother held her child. For a moment, she hesitated. Then, by the will of Allah, the child spoke. "Be patient. You are upon the truth." The mother stepped forward. Without fear, one by one, they chose faith over life. The king had power. He had soldiers. He had fire. But he could not break their belief, because true faith lives in the heart. And once it enters, no king, no fear can remove it. One boy changed a nation because he believed and because he trusted Allah, and that light can never be extinguished.